Let's take a brief look at the Scarface Heist Pack. This was the 12th paid heist DLC released for Payday 2, and is a crossover with the classic crime flick, Scarface. Let's start with the heist itself, Scarface Mansion. The situation is the Butcher has ships smuggling guns in the Caribbean area. However, the Souza cartel attacked and sunk one of her ships, trying to run her out of the area. Instead of stepping down, she's having our crew strike back by assassinating the cartel's leader, Ernesto Souza. Spoiler alert for Scarface if you haven't seen the film yet. Souza is living it up in Tony Montana's old mansion, which they acquired after killing him at the end of the film. Bane even acknowledges that it's specifically Scarface's mansion. This heist can be taken either stealth or loud, and we're gonna look at stealth first this time since it'll be easier to explain that way. You start the heist hopping over a wall at the property. The entire area around the building is infested with guards. Obviously, the higher the difficulty, the more guards there will be. Thankfully, none of the guards outside the mansion have pagers. However, they also can't be dominated, so if you're spotted, you're gonna have to kill the guard. You can pretty much avoid all the guards if you're careful, although some crews like to throw down an ECM and run a scorched earth plan, killing every guard outside and hiding their bodies out of sight. A good way to do that is to use a shotgun to launch corpses into the ocean behind the mansion. Be wary though, it seems on higher difficulties, killing too many guards will have Souza send more guards. Whatever tactic you take, the goal here is to get to the head of security, wearing a gaudy green blazer, kill him and grab a thumb drive off his corpse. Now you have to plug it into a laptop, which can be in either the garage near the pier or a shed near where you spawn. Once it's hooked up, Bane will try to open some doors to the house. However, the hack will stop a few times, and the only way to restart it is to open up and rewire fuse boxes in various locations. These places can be out in the open near cameras or guards, so you might need to find yourself eliminating guards in the area and looping cameras just to make progress. After a few pauses, the hack will finish and a few doors will open, granting access to the interior of the mansion. Now, be wary, the guards inside the mansion do have pagers. You can distinguish them from the pagerless guards by their black Kevlar vests. Anyways, now you'll need to hit a button on the inside to open up the rest of the mansion. However, Souza himself is locked behind a door that only he can open. The way inside is to call him and speak a password aloud. We can figure out the password by nabbing a hidden recorder stuffed inside a packet of yayo, which is cocaine. After locating and grabbing the recorder, you can call up Souza and tell him to open the door. However, be careful. Once you start calling him, don't stop interacting with the phone until the call is finished. Same way you'd answer a pager. If you drop the call, Souza will panic and sound the alarm. Once the final area is accessible, you'll recognize this room if you've seen the movie, slip past the guards, open the door, and quickly assassinate Souza. Following his death, you can hit a button on his desk to bring his safe up and out of the floor. The safe is filled to the brim with yayo and cash. A little coke money doesn't hurt nobody, so try to secure all you can. In fact, you're not able to leave until you secure a certain amount, which varies depending on the difficulty. Your escape in stealth can either be a speedboat parked at the dock, or a van at the end of the driveway. Secure all the loot that you need to, and any extra you feel comfortable grabbing, and get out. So, stealth on this heist feels a bit weak, to be honest, at least to me. It's a fairly straightforward map objective-wise, basically just Hoxton Revenge on a larger scale. And there are just so many guards everywhere! Especially with all the foliage around the map, sometimes you won't be able to see a guard, but they can see you. However, the map itself is beautiful and a faithful recreation of the mansion from the film. Let's change gears and talk about Loud for a bit. For the most part, Loud starts out the same way. You kill the head of security, plug the thumb drive into the laptop, wait for the hack, and restart it at a power box when it jams. Again, these power boxes frequently lack cover, so you'll probably need teammates to cover whoever is opening the box. Or, if a player is willing, they can bring a saw and just cut the boxes open. Once the hack is done, you can enter the mansion and open the shutters, just like in stealth. Here's where things get interesting. Obviously, we can't trick Souza into opening the door like in stealth, but we can go all Hotline Miami Day 1 on him and destroy his belongings until he gets so angry he'll want to fight us himself. Gather up all his fine art, throw it into a pile, and burn it. You can find cans of gasoline outside the mansion, usually in or around the shed and garage. Souza is pissed, but not angry enough to open the door yet. So now Bane will have Bile fly in, airlift his cars, and drop them into the ocean. He even drops one directly on top of the mansion, crashing through the ceiling. At this point, Souza is angry enough to open up the shutters and let you come to him. Fight your way through security and ceiling-mounted turrets. Instead of lockpicking the door, he'll blast it open for us in a familiar fashion. Souza will try to fight back, but if you work together or have a rocket launcher, your crew should be able to eliminate him without too much trouble. You still need to steal some loot from his safe before you can leave. However, security measures have been put into place and the safe is locked in the floor. So you'll have to attach winches to the safe and pull it out with force. This process takes a long time, so get ready to defend yourselves. After the safe is up, grab the loot and book it. The same two escapes you can get in stealth are still possibilities, but in Loud there's a third escape that can occur, where the van will drive through the wall where you spawned. No matter which escape the game gives you, get your loot and get out. It's worth noting that in both stealth and loud, some escapes are better than others. The boat escape, at least in my experience, is by far the best. It's right next to the mansion and not a lot of cops seem to spawn back there. There's no way to influence which escape you get, sadly. I prefer this heist loud versus stealth, honestly. It feels more in the spirit of Scarface to blast our way to objective rather than sneak it. So, that's the heist, but let's move on to the weapons. First up being the Commando 101 rocket launcher. I'm absolutely in love with this launcher. You get 4 shots before you have to reload, and each blast does 5,000 damage. Obviously, it can't pick up ammo from drops, so you'll need to visit an ammo bag if you want to keep using it. This launcher seems pretty much objectively better than the HRL-7. Even if it has half the damage, you can just fire twice instead, or only once if what you're shooting at is already dead. Since the ammo count is twice that of the HRL-7, and you can shoot it 4 times before having to reload, I don't see any reason to use that rocket launcher over the Commando 101. In any case, you can shred bulldozers with this launcher no problem. Just be careful where you shoot, as you can accidentally down your teammates fairly easily. Lastly for weapons is the Hotline 8000X Melee, an old school brick phone that you smack enemies with. Although the concealment is at maximum, the damage and swing speed are far too low for this to be an effective melee in any build. If you're looking for a good concealable melee weapon, just use the Nova Shank instead. Finally, let's look at the masks. Exalted is the head of a golden statue. Golden Hour uses the Miami sunset wallpaper from the film. Barari Flex are a pair of extremely 80s sunglasses, and the Pathira Tigress is a tiger, presumably Scarface's tiger from the movie. I wouldn't use any of these masks myself with the exception of Golden Hour, but there is a lot of variety in their designs at least. That's about it. So, would I recommend the Scarface Heist Pack? Well, if you're a fan of the movie and enjoy playing loud heists, go for it. The Scarface Mansion heist is a blast and loud, and the Commando 101 rocket launcher will be seeing a lot of use, I'm sure. The heist falls a bit flat in stealth, at least for me. There are just a comical amount of guards, and it feels like you're expected to ECM rush the outside area instead of sneak it. Still, maybe some players prefer that method of stealth. If you don't like Scarface and don't play many loud heists, I'd say you can safely give this pack a pass. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.